Content Director here at whirlidurb, and I want to welcome you to another episode in our series of our Content Connections, where we are having conversations with educators from zoos, museums, and cultural institutions about how they're using technology to support their educational initiatives and outreach and connecting into schools with quality content. So, okay, I must tell you, I'm so excited today because we have a guest from Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta, Georgia. We have with us Patty Petrey Dees, who is the Distance Learning Program Director there at the center. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm a big fan of whirlidurb and the content that you guys generate, so we're really excited to be part of this.
Thank you so much, Patty. Now, I must tell you, I am in awe because you have been doing this through video for a long time, so I'm excited
Yes.
to kind of learn a little bit about expertise you have. So let's just get started. Tell us a little bit about the Center for Puppetry Arts and what do you do there?
Sure. Well, the Center for Puppetry Arts is actually the largest center in the United States devoted to puppetry, and a lot of people don't know that. We're a very large facility. We're a 3-story building. We have 2 active theater spaces here for live performances, in addition to a full-fledged global museum and a 3rd floor entirely dedicated to education workshops, and that's where our distance learning studios are housed. So we're a great place to visit if you ever do come to Atlanta, and we have been here for 35 years. So we've been in existence for quite a while. We're happy about that. And the distance learning program began, quite a while ago, 1997, and we're really excited to have introduced that to the center at that time as well.
Okay, and so what do you do there at the center, Patty?
Sure. Well, I founded the distance learning program in 1997, so I've been here since the inception of this program, learned the ropes, and basically I write content for our curriculum-based workshops where students learn about the arts and sciences and social studies using puppetry as a tool. And I also have a wonderful staff here, of course, that I manage all of our content delivery. I manage all of that and develop all of that, work on grants, and, a lot of different hats that we wear here in a nonprofit.
Yeah, okay. I'm curious, that's one of the things people always tell me. They're like, you ask a lot of questions. I am curious, how, the Center for Puppetry Arts, how did you get interested in puppets?
Good question, because I've been here now going on it'll be 17 years coming up. I've been here for a long time, and interestingly enough, I started in museum education. My background is in art history, and I actually worked in an art museum and a history museum in North Carolina, and worked in the education departments, working with exhibits and content and teachers and curriculum. And that's really where I really enjoy the most, is developing that content and the curriculum and the delivery of it to the teachers and the students. And I was able to bring that experience here to the center with a new program and, kind of build it from the bottom to where we are today. And it's been a great place to be. And it encompasses my background of art, but it also encompasses my love of teaching and curriculum. So it wraps up really nicely together.
And I must tell you, I am fascinated with puppets. I went to see the Lion King production earlier.
Great.
And their use of puppets in it,
Yes.
Quite innovative, and it was so captivating. Very captivating.
Yeah, many people think of puppets and they think of just maybe marionettes. And marionettes are string puppets, and they are operated by strings and strings only, but there are lots of different styles of puppetry. So you were able to see that obviously in Lion King. So it's great to be able to introduce those other styles, because a lot of times people don't realize, those are puppets.
Right, because a lot of times we just think of puppet, I think of Pinocchio. Pretty much,
Right.
I'm
Sure.
like,
Yes.
or the Muppets there. Well, now, you have mentioned y'all have been delivering content from Center for Puppetry Arts through video conferencing since 1997. So that's a
Yes.
lot of experience. Now, some people might not have joined in a video conference, and they might think it's like watching TV because, it's a camera, sometimes it's on a TV. So what would a teacher or the students, what can they expect if they're like, hey, I want to connect in for one of these programs?
Right.
What would the teacher and the students be doing?
Well, the first thing we like to pride ourselves on is the fact that this is not television. This is a full interactive experience. The children, especially the K through 5 programs that we present, they're going to get up and they're going to move and they're going to be involved in kinesthetics. It's going to help them remember the concepts that we're teaching them through the curriculum. They're also going to have a hands-on project, which we feel really, really strongly about. I'm going to hold up for you an example of our butterflies. Ooh. Really simple puppet design, because we understand teachers don't have a lot of classroom materials, a lot of money to devote to building puppets, and we're a nonprofit. We get it. We understand. It's simple materials you would have in and around the classroom: construction paper, a popsicle stick, a string, and we show the students how to make their very own marionette butterfly step by step while they're learning all the science principles behind it. So it's a fully interactive process throughout the program. They're not just sitting there listening quietly and observing. We want them to interact, and we are constantly calling out to them to get that group to interact, and also the teachers as well, because the teachers are often the driving force behind the chemistry in the room between the students and the presenter. If the teachers are fully involved, the students are going to pick up on that and understand how exciting this really is. So really we're trying to come through that screen, break that barrier of the screen by engaging the students in many different ways.
So now you mentioned the classroom materials, and I saw that awesome puppet, the butterfly. So do the teachers have to do some prep before they connect with you guys?
They do. The way that we operate is everything is available online. So it's nice. This is a really green technology. That's the other kind of benefit of interactive video conferencing as well. Everything is online for our teachers. So they do not need to cut these pieces out themselves. Bless everyone who thinks that they need to do that. The kids can do that. They don't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of puppetry. It actually makes the puppets a little more interesting. Maybe the wings a little off, or it's okay. It's the concepts. It's the act of participating and building the puppet. That's the important part of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And certainly we don't want the teachers to feel overwhelmed with having to prep all of these materials for the students. We do try and keep the designs as simple as possible to make them age appropriate, whether they're a pre-K audience or a 5th grade audience. The puppet design will vary. And if you let the kids just trace these templates out and cut them out themselves, then you can do it really, really quickly.
Okay, that is a good thing to know that, because I know that's one of the questions we get asked a lot, and some providers will send kits, ours are all electronic as well. So that's good to know. So they get those before and do a little prep there.
Yes.
Okay, so you're one of our pioneers, as we say, in video conferencing. And now there's so many types of technologies out there. When we began in video conferencing, we didn't have webinars, or, Skype wasn't invented, or FaceTime. We weren't talking to our phones. We were using phones like for phones to talk on. So I just kind of want to hear your perspective on, the different modalities, because y'all have adapted. You have video conferences, you have webinars, you've got some pre-recorded content.
Yes.
So just kind of, what have you noticed about the technology that's evolved in the years that y'all have been using technology to support your outreach?
Sure. I mean, we've definitely obviously seen it grow, exponentially across the country, and that's going to continue to be the case. We know that we have to adapt in order to continue on with our programming, because we reach out to students and teachers across the country and beyond. Every district is a little bit different. Every district is a little bit different when it comes to funding. States are different, and sometimes internally within the states, the school systems even work differently. It really just depends. So you have to be really flexible, and you have to understand that it's not all going to work the same way. And that's the feedback that we've received from educators in the past. A lot of them maybe had this great hardware in their schools, this traditional type of video conferencing with a camera and a codec in place, which helps to make up that video conferencing unit. And That's wonderful, but some schools can't afford that, so we offer a cloud-based platform through Field Trip Zoom right now as well, and that does not require any hardware other than, a webcam and a echo canceling mic, and both really inexpensive, which we actually can provide to them if they don't have that. So we've tried to take into account what schools are telling us. They're running out of money. They can't afford to buy new equipment. They can't afford to update the software. So we offer all of those different modalities. Webinars as well for schools that are having bandwidth issues. Most all of our curriculum-based programs can be presented through a webinar platform. We currently use Blackboard Collaborate, and the only thing that we cannot deliver through our webinar platform are our interactive puppet shows, because those do require a high-speed bandwidth connection. But other than that, all of our programming is, accessible through a webinar platform. So those are the main modalities that we work with. We've seen a great growth in cyber academies across the nation. So they are big users of the webinar platform. So we're working in developing that audience. I really feel that that's a big future of education, and whether it's just blended modalities, which we're currently dealing with in the school systems, but especially with, again, the growth of these cyber academies and most of that coming through those webinar type platforms, we're starting to really focus on that a little more heavily than we have in the past.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear. And the cloud-based solution, so that's going to help the schools so they can connect into your studio that you have all your amazing equipment in. And so what it does is then the content provider has all of kind of the fancy equipment, and so then you can connect in so the schools can connect in more easily. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, just a link. It's just a computer link, and that's it on their side.
So that is what we've started this year as well. It's so nice to be able to do that. Now, okay, I told you I was curious. You said interactive puppetry programs.
Yes.
Okay, give me a little quick demo, and then we'll get back on to cost and grants. So,
I'm gonna point out here one of our stars of our shows, Mr. Kalachi, and Mr. Kalachi is a hand puppet, and he is a wonderful character. Jeffrey George is our distance learning puppeteer. We have a full-fledged professional puppeteer on our staff. This year, we're really excited. We have 4 interactive puppet shows, and I'm going to launch into my content to show you where you can find some information. This is our website, but I'll take you down to our video conferencing page where you can see our different performances that we have to offer. Mr. Kalachi is here. This is part of our Moving and Grooving with Little Noodle Health series. So this actually teaches about health and nutrition. And it's done through the character of Mr. Kalachi. He needs a little help. He has a sugar crash. He didn't eat so well the night before, and he's a little tired, and he has a really long list of things to do. So the kids help him out, help him make healthy food choices, and they get up and they move, and they go on a walk with him, and it is just a super fun puppet show. So that was all created here on site by Jeffrey. All the design, the puppets, absolutely everything. So we're really excited. We're launching it right now this fall for the first time, and this was through a Coca-Cola Foundation grant. In addition to this one, we have another really exciting project, and I know, Roxanne, with you being from Texas, we have a great project. We worked in collaboration with Texas A&M on this. It's a STEM-based puppet show. And this is a super fun show. This one is geared for 3rd through 5th grade, whereas Mr. Kalachi was a K through 2nd grade program. But the Folding Up teaches scientific method and careers in STEM, focusing on aeronautics. And it is a really great program that was written by, get this, because I know you're going to love this, Roxanne, and I'm going to go back to full screen for you. Okay, it was written by a materials scientist, a PhD from Georgia Tech, which is just down the street from us, and he's a puppeteer as well. Can you believe that? Rolled into one, probably the only one. I'm going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably the only one in the world. So we were lucky to have it. His name is Dr. Greg Van Lanningham, and he wrote the show and worked with Texas A&M. And we also have recorded content available that's going to be posted over the course of the next 3 years, modules that teachers can download for free. to teach origami principles and different math concepts based on Common Core, STEM concepts as well. So look for those as in addition to the live program.
Okay, that is nice. And that's something that all of us, I think, are doing, is what's something that we can create that's going to help teachers out, because, there are free resources that we can share with them, and then there are others that you're like, oh my gosh, a live puppet performance brought into their school. That's amazing. So, yes.
And I want to show you this. This is one of the characters that Greg designed. It's an origami crane. So this is Aggie. Aggie is the character in the story, the origami character, and this is her aunt Crane that she visits at an airplane making factory. And so she learns a little bit about aeronautics there. But this is one of the characters in the show, and you can see it looks just like a real piece of origami.
Oh, now that is clever. And I'll tell you what, because I have a 9-year-old granddaughter, and she loves origami. She went through that folding up all the origami stuff. Then she went to duct tape is her thing now. So she's moved on past tape.
My daughter is doing that as well.
Okay, so this is like this amazing wealth of content that is accessible, because, here in Texas, I'm probably not going to be able to visit you guys until ISTE next summer. So this is great that schools can connect to you and learn all those curricular content through puppets. I loved how you said using puppets as a tool. So I love that. I'm going to keep that line right there in my head. So any feedback you've gotten from teachers, the power, like after they connect, what is the impact on learning for the kids?
It really is a strong impact. We do have some professional studies, in fact, that we're more than happy to share at any time. We're doing even more of those this year. So we are, if anyone is interested, they can always email us. We're more than happy to forward those. Some of them are a little older, but again, we've generated some new studies just recently about content and learning and how they feel about doing the program through this technology, and it's overwhelmingly positive. We've always had a positive response to our programs, and what we've heard from teachers over the years is that a lot of times we are able to connect with students in their classroom, make that connection that they couldn't necessarily make, because the students, when they see themselves on camera a lot of times, they think they're movie stars. They're on camera, and everyone else can see them in the class, and you call them by name, and they get so excited. That's something that we really focus on, is picking up on those cues from the teacher, hearing the names of the students, and repeating those back, because it really does personalize it, and it will get the attention of a child you may not be able to get through a traditional method in class. And I mean, let's face it, our kids are digital natives. I have 2 children, one in elementary, one in middle school. They can run circles around me when it comes to technology, just about. And that's what we're looking at. All of these kids are digital natives. They're familiar with it. They like it. They want it. They respond to it. And in a traditional classroom, hopefully technology is being used. But if not, this is a great way to introduce it, or just to add to what you're doing in the classroom and appeal to those children that respond to it, which is the majority of them.
That is, yes, and they do. And now I think we're seeing the younger kids now. They learn so much off of YouTube, and I know Kelsey watches those little tutorials, and so just by watching them, they're already making their own tutorials, using video. It's very powerful for them. So, thanks for making that point for us.
Absolutely.
And so let's see, cost, grants, topics. Do y'all focus? I know you said it sounds interdisciplinary, so just talk to us about the logistics there a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm going to go to our webpage again. I'm going to share with you our distance learning page. And our website, if I didn't mention that before, it's puppet.org. This is our main webpage. We have a great box right in the front called Virtual Learning, and you just click on that and it takes you to our main page, and you can see the different types of offerings that we have. A lot of the recorded content that we have it's actually for adults. For any teachers or anyone at all interested in learning more about puppetry, you can go to that area. For the students and teachers, mostly we're looking at the interactive video conferencing and the webinars. And so it's just a matter of visiting our website. If you click on interactive video conferencing, all of our programs are listed here. Our hands-on curriculum-based programs. We have a variety of topics: Africa, Mali, Anansi the spider, butterflies, dinosaurs, discovering puppetry in other cultures, exploring Africa for our younger students, exploring Antarctica, which is a new one, which is super fun. Our most popular program, the Gingerbread Boy, that is super popular. Making healthy choices, Mexico, Native Americans. I mean, I could go, you can see the different types of offerings. We have a Puppet Building 101 for those who are specifically interested in puppet making with their students, perhaps. It's a great workshop for teachers as well. Then, of course, you see our performances on the right side. Captain Healthy and Safety Dog, that's about safety and health. The STEM show that we mentioned, Folding Up, The Little Red Hen and the Grain of Wheat, wildly popular. Great puppet show as well, and this would be for the younger audiences of pre-K to second grade. And of course, Mr. Kalachi, which is Mr. Kalachi's Long List, part of our health series as well. And those are our performances. And then we have professional development for teachers as well. We can do hands-on teacher workshops. We can do teacher demos, and that's where you're going to find most of our content is right there on our website.
Right, that's very easily laid out. I'll include all that in our show notes. Last question, and then I'm going to you tell us every place we can find you. So, you know the different modalities. We've got our webinars. We have interactive video. We're going to have some recorded content. What's the power of that synchronous interaction? Why is that important?
It is the most, to me, this is where I will stand on my soapbox. This is where I feel so strongly that I can't emphasize enough that the interactive element is so very different and can cross so many more boundaries than just watching a recorded video. Recorded videos are great and they have their place, and we have them. We use them. But making those personal connections with those students, that is what really makes the difference. Getting them, engaged, coming across that screen. They could never come to visit us in most of these states. We're just too far away. We've been able to reach out to rural and underserved areas that would never, ever see a puppet show. And we've been told that in our own state, in rural South Georgia counties, some of those kids have never been out of that county, ever. And they are just in awe of what we show them because they have, puppet theaters don't exist a lot anymore, and they're few and far between. And unless you live in a really wonderful community that supports a puppet theater, you're not going to see it. It's just not that commonplace. You'll see it on television, right? But you're not going to see the global types of puppets that we have to offer. And that's what we can bring to you, our expertise in this area. We can show you what you've never seen before. You can ask questions. You get to interact. And that will impact your students, and it may change the course. I'm going to go as far as saying it may change the course of their life, because they may choose this as a path in life as far as an art form, or they may even want to be a puppeteer, who knows. But that thought would have never been put in their mind had they not connected with us. And it's the same with any other content provider. So many wonderful content providers out there across our country, and so many, they are experts in their field. They can open the world up to your students, and it is through that interactive nature of it that makes the impact and the difference.
Two things just popped into my brain as I was listening to you. The first one is one of my favorite quotes. I can't even remember where I first heard it. Was touch my heart, and my mind will follow. And that our brains, we are wired to remember things that are creative,
yes,
useful, and emotional. I mean,
yes,
that is the core of education there. And I think you kind of eloquently put that together for us. So, all right, shameless self-promotion. We know it's puppet.org. Okay, we're going to go to puppet.org. Where else can we find you? You got the Facebook, the Twitter,
got the Facebook and the Twitter and all of that great stuff. We have a Vimeo channel as well, so you can see a variety of recorded content there. Even some of our demos, etc., are posted there. We also have content on a site called Learn teachers or anyone interested in puppet where you can sign up for live interactive webinars or recorded, either one. So we have a spot there. And I'm blank because I know there was one more place that I want. Oh, we're Barry and Risa. We also are listed on Barry and Risa's site as well. And those are the main sites. CIL is a big site for us. We have a lot of, I think we have 20 programs listed on the CILC site.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I tell you what, Patty, I want to thank you so much for being our guest on our Content Connections. Oh, I went through the whole thing, forgot to put, yes, it is our Content Connections. So I want to thank you so much because there's value in this, and I think it really is amazing. And I grew up in a very small town, and we didn't have art teachers, very limited access to the arts.
Yes.
And yes, that was before the internet, so it was even more limited. So I love what you're doing and bringing this to children and to adults. This is fantastic. So thank you so much for being with us here on our Content Connections.
Well, thank you so much for being such a gracious host and asking us to be part of this. We're very excited to have been able to participate in the Content Connections.
All right, thank you so much, Patty.
Thanks.